Hello, welcome to week 9. So we're almost at the finish line, and this is the week you've all been waiting for. Probably everything that we talk about this week is what you may have anticipated that you'd be studying all along. However, hopefully you've understood the reason why we've done things in the order that we've done them. Because look here, we're actually moved up a notch. So all the work that you did last week to me is really all the work that has to be done before you can get to this point. So now you know that you can't just jump ahead to things being trustable, or even in a sense what we're calling is knowledge. Knowledge is that you might actually pay attention to this information, and that is a very high bar, by the way. Not that we have in this world of information tried to make things trustable that maybe are and maybe aren't, but it is a complex subject. So we will be tackling it this week along with, at a high level. Obviously, we're going to go fairly quick from metadata on, and this week and next week is the wisdom layer. So we're going to go super fast, but we're also switching our focus. So you did a ton of work to try to organize data, and and that's valuable. That's actually the most valuable thing you can do as an information architect. So, how do you get that data and all that work that you did to actually pay off for your company, your purpose, etc.? You wanted to make sure that people valued your effort. Well, this week we'll talk about it. So, in this case, we're going to talk about metadata. So, data about data. So that's what's hard, is that you might commingle the two. Data is in itself a description, and the only metadata you might have sort of flirted with was navigation. Now, the navigation doesn't have to be about the data, but you found that challenging, I hope. And in fact, the whole point is for me to try to challenge you guys. So believe me, I'm aware of it and I know how hard this is. So I'm going to get into grading right now to look at your work. But so far, I know that you all have done a lot of effort to be able to understand the topic well. So make sure we go into readings. This week is a little bit about a few different topics, one of which is very near and dear to me is data visualization. So if I can, let's see, where do I find my thing here? Week 9. Do, 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 do. You can see here there's a lot of subtopics here. One of my favorites, I just love this picture because if anyone was around in the beginning of the web, it was about hit counters. Uh, I find it hilarious. But anyway, you can see here that there's a lot of topics in the reading. Please do read it, and as you will soon do in rating this course, please let me know how this is set up, if it's working or not, because I rewrote most of this content just recently, and I'd love feedback on it. So, okay, so that's the readings to understand the topic. Let me switch over quickly to Mural. Let's see, it should be here. There we go. Uh, so the final. So the final, the goal of the final is to take all the things that you just did, looking at data. So the data is the most important beginning part. And what we've chosen here is all different services that take user submitted data, meaning you would sign up for an account, you'd submit some data, and you would see what it would ask of you. You'd be able to look and analyze the data type. So, for example, if you did Twitter, that's pretty good because we started with Twitter and we actually talk about their data model. And so, therefore, you'd say, well, here's the data. How do they use it to do anything at all valuable? Because what they would have to come up with is a way to organize your data without them actually organizing it. So, the trick about these different areas is they figured out ways that other people can organize your data so they don't have to. Now, I know on here, I think, let's see, slide share. Some of these might be a bit antiquated. I apologize for that. I threw TikTok on here because it is new. And if you do know of a new user generated data source, something like, for example, the IMDb is not a user generated source. It's actually curated. So anything that has a person or persons or actually swarms of people involved in making sure that the data is organized, that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at they figured out a way that it organizes itself, and that's what the paper is going to be about. So once again, read the rubric, start doing your study. Another thing that is going to be important in this study is to look back. So you can go to a few different areas are mentioned. There's the Wayback Machine, and so you can look at when they first started these different services, because right now they might be more and more sophisticated just because of time passing. So I know that's a little bit of a start, and I see, Brian DePauli I've already picked. Okay, great. So hopefully that makes sense. If we need to have an in-person meeting, I'm happy to do it. I would prefer, of course, just to ask me questions about it, and then everyone can benefit, and I can take my time to answer them a little bit more carefully. But there's a lot of information here. I think what is the topic of this week is just to get our talking about trust. So some examples that you can look for and you can bring in. Here's some talking about data visualization. Again, a very important thing for me, but data visualization also has a lot of things going on. I'm just going to say that there's a lot crammed into this week. So, but mainly I want to make sure that you get a service and understand how to pick it apart so that you can see the things that are important for the paper. Because what's important for the paper is exactly what you've done for the first 8 weeks. The layer on top of it's going to probably be metadata. And so that's why, the topic of this week is that they'll use something like popularity as a good way to gain trust. But there's a lot behind this. So a lot of reading, a lot of thinking, and hopefully it all makes sense that we're moved up a whole entire level. And we're talking about some things that really are exciting this week. So enjoy. Let me know how it goes.